What's cracking, people? Anansi here, and welcome back to Jade Empire. In the last one, we visited Lord Lao's furnace and did one extra flyer mission. And in this one, we made it back to the Imperial Arena, and we're going to continue on through the Bronze Division. But before that, we're going to check to see if we can get anything from Dr. On.
While I cannot see, Hapless Han stumbled in here for yet another treatment after you defeated him. Impressive handiwork, though I find myself in a position to wish you were less skilled, especially with Han. He is a continual strain on my time.
What's wrong with treating Han?
I think you misunderstand the situation. I have no problems treating Han, but I receive no compensation for tending to injuries. I shouldn't complain, though. The arena pays me to look after you fighters, and Han's constant injuries have helped me hone my healing skills to a razor edge.
Show me what you have to say.
Of course, have a look.
So yeah, we got everything we can from here. I kind of forgot if I did or not last time. So all we can really do is talk to Dr. On. So right now, let's talk to a couple of the fighters here, because we actually haven't talked to any of them after we beat Han.
While I cannot see you, your appearances are hard to ignore. Welcome again. Are you here for a treatment or simple socializing?
Well, tell me more about what you do here.
Acupuncture is the process of healing the body through the release of its own energies. There are other applications, such as an understanding of the pressure points of the body as well. I release these healing energies through the very precise insertion of needles into the skin. It truly is an art. Acupuncture is also most ancient science, studied as long as the Empire has stood. Those studies benefit the warriors in this place most directly.
How can you perform acupuncture when you're blind? Because you're essentially sticking needles into people.
How can you fight in the dark? We learn these things through study and discipline. The nerves of the hand are incredibly sensitive. The eyes can be fooled by something as insubstantial as light. I would not say that losing my sight at a young age was a gift, but I have not let it become a burden either.
Okay, how do these treatments work?
My techniques for releasing your untapped inner energies are newer and slightly more radical, but even they benefit from a century of research and years of practice.
Tell me some more.
Put simply, your body possesses incredible energies, some of which can fall out of balance, putting the body at risk of disease. Acupuncture releases blockages in your body's meridians, natural pathways for this energy, allowing your body to restore its balance.
How does it allow you to make people stronger?
The new schools have found ways to optimize the body's energy pathways to make you stronger than you would be normally. You would have to practically abandon your pursuit of martial prowess to understand them more fully, but you have other skills to hone.
Okay, I guess I should be I should let you be.
Be well.
So yeah, Dr. On's an acupuncturist. And like I said in the last one, sometimes your companions have more to say, but the speech arrows out above their head. So Fox, I mentioned the last one, probably had more to talk to us about, and I was right.
Yes, I appreciate the attention, but you have things to do. You've made arrangements to gain the trust of the Lotus Assassins, but haven't followed through. The Executioner wants to see you excel in the arena. Progress far enough, and he will gladly recommend that you be recruited. If you prefer, you could still seek out the Inquisitor by speaking with Scholar Dun Gao in the Scholar's Garden.
Is there something troubling you? Your feelings are important to me. Let's move.
Your progress is admirable, but don't become too close to the Lotus Assassins. Their power is seductive. That is how Death's Hand gained influence over my father.
That annoys you, I can see. Tell me about it.
After the disappearance of my uncle, Sun Qin, the Hand of Heaven, the Imperial Order of the Lotus Monks was directionless. Instead of taking on that role himself, my father gave it to an advisor, Death's Hand. I was only a baby at the time.
So this happened a very long time ago. What happened to Sun Qian?
I don't know. My father said he and my other uncle, Sun Li, were lost in the battle to end the long drought. but I can find no record of who or what they fought. And don't start your foolishness that your master is the glorious strategist. You have no proof of that. He remains a dead man, and possibly a traitor. Regardless, the Lotus monks were placed in the care of Death's Hand, a duty reserved for royalty. It was almost as if my father took Death's Hand into our family, my family. We have been caretakers of the Empire for generations. We have created a bastion of culture in an otherwise uncivilized world. Death's Hand threatens all of this. It is my duty to see that the natural order is preserved.
That is your duty, but what about who you are? Tell me about yourself.
About me? But why? I mean, there's so much I've told you already. I really don't think that we need any more information to complete our mission.
The princess and her duties interest me less than the woman behind them.
Oh, well, I suppose I could answer a few questions. Although I'm sure more than enough has been said about me by the peasants or others, I am quite used to defending myself from all quarters.
What did they say? That she would do anything for those in need?
I've never seen myself as particularly generous, but it would not be so bad to be remembered in that way. The gratitude of the peasants is important to any ruler. They, even unknowingly, have the power to see the empire rise or fall. The love of the people is powerful. I hope, however, that I am not just seen as a giver of charity. Anyone can throw money at the downtrodden. I try to accomplish more than that.
I'm sure they say the princess has the authority to command, yet the wisdom to listen to advice.
You presume a great deal. Can you really have seen this in such a short time? Those are qualities I would like to say I have, but I am not certain that I do. I have little time for listening when I seem to be fighting the very system of which I am a part.
Don't worry, I'll keep you grounded.
You? Well, you might. I don't know what the future will bring for us. Do you think yourself worthy of reminding me of what is important? To keep me humble? My father will take a dim view of that.
Your father is far from my mind right now.
My father, the Emperor, is the heart and soul of this empire. He is the one who can restore your master to you. You must respect him. He should be of great concern to you, if only because he is of concern to me.
You misunderstand. He is far from my mind because I am enjoying your company.
Wait, this is further than I thought this conversation would go. This is not proper. I will not allow it. You presume too much. I think we have had quite enough amusement for now. Perhaps we will continue this a little later. I have enjoyed our little talk. I'm not sure we have the time. There are too many important matters at stake. We need to make progress before I will feel comfortable spending more time on idle chatter.
Okay, always fun to check.
I wish you luck. Once you have gained the trust of the Lotus Assassins, we will plan how to proceed.
Now let's see what Hapless Han has to say.
Boy, that sure was something. I wouldn't have wanted to be me out there, except that I was. But I learned so much from facing you. Next time I should try some of that fancy stuff you do. I'm not exactly sure how you did it, though.
Pay attention when you fight. Make the enemies move their own.
You know, that's a good idea. I tend to focus on myself more than others. Perhaps I can learn some new tricks. Thanks for the encouragement.
Do you know anything about a guild?
All the contestants know about the guild. They are the real power here. Keep your voice low. We don't want Lucky Cho to hear us talking about this.
Who's in charge of the guild?
I don't know about the guild itself, but around here the man in charge is named Kai Lan the Serpent. He's a powerful magician and incredibly deadly in battle. Retired Imperial champion, in fact. I never have to deal with Kai Lan. I'm not good enough to compete with the big players, so he isn't interested in me. I prefer it that way.
What does the guild do exactly?
I've heard from some of the others that they sometimes ask fighters to throw matches, or worse. It may not actually be that bad, but I always advise new fighters to be careful, just in case.
Okay, how can they operate so openly?
It's not that open, but Lucky Cho and Kai Lan don't bother to hide their actions much. I wonder if the rest of the guild appreciates them being that open. As to why the Empire tolerates them, I know of at least one promising fighter who went off to join the Lotus Assassins not too long ago. It was like they recruited him after seeing what he could do here. Maybe there's some arrangement that makes the Lotus Assassins overlook this place.
Well, let's talk about something else.
I don't like dwelling on the guild. I generally pretend they're not there.
Well... have we done this one?
You're already past me. Now that you're a real fighter, the others will likely open up about themselves if you ask. I know a little about Soldier, if you want to hear my take on him. But we could also talk about Khana, if you're curious about her. My father is a smith of...
Okay, so we already had this one... Okay, so we've already had this, these particular conversations, so let's back out of this. Let's talk to Soldier, because I think Soldier's going to berate us again.
Looks like you're still walking after that last match. Too bad. You ground the hapless one beneath your feet like everyone else does, huh? Han's pathetic for wasting time on the hopefuls, if you ask me. Then again, watching Han stumble to Dr. An every time he tries to handle the real Bronze Division fights is one of the most entertaining things about this place.
Are you always this belligerent? No, we already had this question.
I don't pay attention to the Bronze Division. Who has time? Now go on.
So yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Good.
Let's talk to Crimson Khana.
Uktatasir ni ryoki, ka sisayir na work awukategi.
Han lacks the competitive drive to progress beyond his current position, but he is skillful enough to be honored by your victory. Lucky Cho mentioned the guild. I need to know your thoughts on them.
Uksiyir watuafu ni yefroto usosawir, uktatasir ni ryoki.
The guild has made this trials. Kai Lan the Serpent heads their activities here. It is but one part of their larger operation, but their practices disgust me. They're looking to with the Serpent.
Kwawir uyu itarir noka sisayir na workut, wo nisirwir nokathaku fifir.
He is the real power behind Queen, Lucky Cho, and all the rest. He bends the fighters to his will, but I will not be his puppet. The Serpent will never guide my sword. What role does the guild play?
Wo ifuir uksunurk danowe na waftatasiyeruk, kitir noni nikuyo ipiyir ta.
Kai Lan's thugs are but a portion of the larger guild, fixing fights and adjusting the odds in their favor. There are rumors of extortion and worse, but it's best not to speak of it. Why does the Empire put up with the guild?
Wo panaro wosawir tatasi ni wasunir prawun, wosawir kokonatoy.
Dishonor exists everywhere. The guild exists in an unfiltered truth with the officials and a steady stream of bribes aids the relationship, from what I hear.
Wono wiri fuwirok wasafno sisitu. Kwawir ni sisiyir sisitu kun wano sisitu nig on wipifi.
Others say the arena recruits for the Lotus Assassins, and this is a theory we're considering. Does my blade somehow aid these assassins to threaten my homeland? I pray not. Let's talk about something else.
Ukir kawuwir wo fonir ir karano sakupono.
Good. It is a sensitive subject, particularly in this place. You clearly dislike this place. Why not leave?
Ukwiro ni sayir tatasiyeru yu, wo nawir siyir fu ni winyanakan.
Mind, spirit, and body must all be tested. You can achieve peace in the garden, but you earn it on the battlefield. Goals reached without trial are not so easily kept. That makes a certain kind of sense.
Wasawayir noka ukraproni apawafa sonsiyir tuwirwo.
Many philosophies agree with me, many do not. The ensuing debates are no less a field of battle than this one. Not all battles are fought with weapons. Lucky told well, we already got them, so that's all I want to ask for you.
Woyo wir Shakespeare woso.
And there we go. So let's talk to the Sung brothers, and then we get on with a couple more of the arena fights.
Look who stands before us, brothers. You are the unstoppable force that left poor Han a cluttered pile of optimistic wreckage at the side of the arena. I'm sure he will bounce back as fresh as ever, though. He always does.
What can you tell me about the guild?
We can tell you to be careful whom you ask about such things. Secrets kept in the open are the most sensitive.
Okay, who is Kailan?
The serpent who dwells in the shadows of this place. Like an air spirit, he is everywhere and yet invisible to the eye.
Brother Sui puts it well. Kailan the Serpent is the guild's will in this place, powerful enough that only the brave or foolish discuss him at any length.
Okay, what does the guild do here exactly?
Besides running the most expansive betting operation in the Empire, I speculate that they do much more than that, but we have been smart enough not to find out. We question things in the arena, though. For example, why are we allowed to fight as one body when the rules suggest such a thing should be illegal? The guild cares more for a good show than fair play. Good shows keep the bet money flowing, especially if a favored fighter were to suddenly and surprisingly lose.
Why doesn't the Empire just stop the guild?
I agree. I don't want them around anymore. They scare me.
If you let fear guide your decisions, Brother Boo, you will find that you have walked the coward's path.
Philosophy aside, the Empire certainly could wipe them out. But wouldn't another similar organization appear? Regardless, if something could be done, the Empire would have done it already.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
A wise choice. The Guild always prefers that people not speak of them. Now, what do you need to know?
That's all I need from you three.
Oh yes, we shall see you around. Of that you can be sure.
So these are the Gold Division champions. And the Bronze Division champion is Crimson Khana. And as we learned from Hapless Han, if you beat Khana, she will teach you her sword style. Now let's go talk to Hui and try to get this set up.
Many people try to break into the Bronze Division and fail miserably. You should be proud of yourself.
You deserve it. It was an honor to face you.
Crimson Khana is the champion of this round. You'll have to face her eventually. Be ready when you do.
Okay, tell me about my next fight.
Now that you have qualified for the Bronze Division, your challenges will be more difficult, but you'll earn greater rewards. The stars themselves need to hear of Silver Phoenix if you're to make it in this division, so I've prepared a match to remember. The guards rounded up a group of subhuman things around the Great Southern Forest. We're going to release them into the ring in groups for you. Are you ready to get started?
Alright, let's begin.
Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Many say that Crimson Khana, the Bronze Division champion, has a chance to go all the way. Well, she hasn't fought the Silver Phoenix yet. So it looks like we're going to be fighting. They mentioned some subhuman things from the Great Southern Forest. Now, you remember our adventures down there, we were fighting cannibals. How they captured cannibals, I have no freaking clue.
These monsters crave the flesh of man.
And as you can see, oh, okay, my bad. I thought this guy had a similar ability to our own, but as it appears, we are now hit with the essentially I believe it's the Tempest skill that we could have learned from. I think it was either not Mistress Vo, it was
Legendary strike.
I forget what his name was, but I think it was the Iron Fist, I want to say. I think it's Jean the Iron Fist, I want to say. We met them in TN's Landing. Now I'll also admit that this is I want to reiterate earlier that I am playing the special edition of the game, which allows you to learn, I believe, a couple of new abilities, and we'll see if we can actually learn the template skill as a result of this. The wall once surrounded and protected a young Jade Empire. Now it stands as a testament to Imperial drive and ambition. So yeah, we're pretty much gonna go ahead and try to beat Crimson Khana this time around, and then after that we're going to call it a part because we spent most of the part just talking, like we did in the last 3 parts. Yeah, I think the part before this was like an hour long of just me talking to my companions. They have a lot to say. There's a lot to learn.
That was a good start to the Bronze Division. Those beasts are far stronger than they look.
What can you tell me about the champion of my division?
Khana's a bit of a mystery to me. Keeps not a coin of her winnings, but is unbeaten. She's in this purely for the challenge, I think. If you face her, you'll find that her swordsmanship is deadly. Khana's studied techniques only found in the prosperous East, the provinces she calls home. She's even got a standing offer to pass the secrets of her blade mastery onto the first fighter to defeat her. So far, no one has managed that feat.
Okay, time for my next fight.
Next, you're going to step into what we call the Pit of Pain. It's not the most original name, I'll admit, but that's 500 years of tradition for you. The arena floor will be set up with ancient magical devices. They will attempt to fry you to a crisp, much to the crowd's delight. Your job is to stay on your feet for the course of the match while they fling deadly projectiles your way. I'd suggest dodging, but that's just me. Are you ready to get started?
Okay, looks like we're going to be dealing with your classic survive until the time that runs out in an arena full of death traps that want to murder your face off because that's what they're planning to do. Let's do this.
Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
But I have to edit that out. Going on a 2-hour recording here. This is going to take about an hour to. It's going to take about 45 minutes to edit and an hour to render. So this is going to be fun to do. All right, well.
The Pit of Pain. Only the quick survive its fiery embrace.
So here's a survive for 50 seconds. And I believe you can't just cheese it because I believe every single oh, it's not that. But I believe every single heal there because oh wow, did that hurt? Now I believe every single projectile is designed to aim at where you're. Well, not every single one, but most of them are designed to aim at where you're at, and you can't just stay in the center to avoid most of it. So it does help to have your chi up and use your focus to help you survive because also use your focus because if you use your focus, you're going to end up doing what I'm doing here. Breathe. I just barely made that, I'm not gonna lie. The horse floors of the plain of Barren Hope threatened the Jade Empire's northern border until Zen Sai, the greatest warlord, fell to the Imperial Army. Pretty much, I believe a correlation to the Mongols. I want to say the Mongols of the very reason I think they built not the very reason they built the Great Wall, but one of the reasons they built the Great Wall, and at least the reason they used it in Mulan. I believe the Great Wall was just built as a vanity project, just because they could. Even the Great Wall isn't even a completely finished wall. Apparently, like the big section we know of the Great Wall is just part of it. There's like other parts of the wall that extend further out.
Fantastic! A test of speed passed with exceptional celery. Now
Your sudden and polite silences are always appreciated, Kui. I'm sure you won't mind if I take a moment to pass a message to Silver Phoenix. Kylon the Serpent has, as promised, been watching you intently. You have impressed him so far, and he is interested to see how you fare in your next match. The Serpent foresees your victory in the next match, and he has backed his prediction with Silver. He sincerely hopes that his faith in your skills was not misplaced. That is all. If you will excuse me, I have some people who need to be spoken to.
Ha! Well, I'm certain that won't be a problem for you. Did you have a question for me?
Okay, so it seems like Kylon wants to win some money off of me. How long before he tries to pull a crew with me from Jack 2 and have me try to throw a fight to make him even richer? Tell me about my next fight.
Yes, your next fight. There's been a bit of a change in plans. Not that it will affect you too much, of course. It's all part of the traditions of the arena, you see. I have word that you're going to be facing a fighter specially chosen from the guild, you see. As soon as you're ready, you'll be facing him instead of a normal match.
Oh, this could only end so well. Who did you originally see as my opponent?
I was originally thinking that you'd done well enough to face Crimson Khana for the Bronze Division Championship. Things change when the guild is involved, though.
Why would the guild have any say in who I face?
The guild's the organization that controls the betting here. That's not all, though. Kylon the Serpent has a lot of influence here as well. I have to bow to certain pressures. I don't like it that much, but smart men don't voice that opinion too loudly. Not around here.
Can you not have their man face someone else?
No, I can't, actually. The Serpent, who's the guild's chief agent in this place, has specifically requested you.
I refuse to let them influence my matches here.
A noble and ultimately meaningless sentiment, my friend. Regardless of what you wish, I have to give in to certain pressures, and you will go no further than this match if your pride is so offended. Are you ready to get started?
Very well, let's begin.
Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
This is one of those but thou must moments. The notorious Ravager awaits you at the top of the gold division. Which actually is an optional thing we can do. Now, I know it's a given that I'm going to do the gold division matches, and it is a given that I'm going to do the Inquisitor recruitment line for the Lotus Assassins, but a lot of the stuff at this point, once we hit silver, we can just go straight to the story. But I'm going to do everything because I'm going to do everything I can.
Many of you are asking yourselves why the Serpent would return to the ring. Am I not retired? Yes! But does that mean I do not care about your entertainment? No! We've all seen the flawless technique of the soaring star that is Silver Phoenix. Now, it is time to put these aptly demonstrated skills to the test. And so, the Serpent gives you a real spectacle. Have your silver handy to place your wagers. I give you Evil and Terror Incarnate.
Legendary strike.
A toad demon. Okay, besides the poison, I've dealt with these things before. These are not that hard. And I have a wind shield to have him take damage every time he hits me. So this is not a hard fight. We've literally fought these things as early as the I guess technically the second dungeon. The first dungeon was just a tutorial. Well, not tutorial, it's story. But yeah, we fought these things as early as the second dungeon. Haven't seen much of them since. It is not. It is not a hard fight, my dude. You could have done better. The only thing that's hard about the tutorial is that you're tanky. The bloodlust of the mad Emperor Xian was so consuming that he sent the Imperial army after his own subjects in an attempt to slake his murderous impulses. Ooh, we had a mad emperor apparently. Always at least one in these fantasy settings, isn't that strange? There's always at least one ruler who just lost her freaking mind. But yeah, so there's the Toad Demon, and now I think after this we can fight Crimson Khana, and hopefully, should we win, learn her special sword technique.
That was an exceptional fight. I haven't seen demons in the ring before.
Why wasn't I warned? Or why wasn't I warned?
For the surprise! You didn't know what was coming and the crowd could sense that. It added drama. You were never in any real danger, but now the crowd knows you're no average warrior. I'm convinced that you deserve a shot at Crimson Khana. Your victory has sealed the deal. That reminds me, I was asked to instruct you to talk with Lucky Cho before your next match.
What do you want to talk about? Or he'll have to wait. I'm ready for my next match now.
I understand, and it is never my intent to impediment your progress. That said, Lucky Cho is not a man I can ignore. Go, speak with him now. The sooner you do, the sooner I can return you to the ring.
Alright, Six of Silver, let's do this.
From what I know of them, the Guild doesn't usually conduct business this openly, or in such elegance.
So there's no one else to talk to inside this place? It's just those who regard happy endings to courtesan. Happy endings. Okay, now I have to know.
Aren't you a sight? I am Happy Endings, famed courtesan, and it is a pleasure to greet you. Especially such a fine figure of a man. So many men are made soft by city life.
Notice the painted face. She only pretends to beauty.
I would love to chat with you and learn more about you, but alas, I can't. I'm on exclusive retainer with the proprietor of this place, and he does get so jealous. Farewell, gorgeous.
Okay, well, I asked a couple of things, and he has Sweet Poison Lin.
I don't know you, but you're in here, so I know you're not common street trash. I hope for your sake that you have enough silver to warrant my time.
Okay, I have enough to keep your interest. Like, my purse is my own concern, whether or not you get any of what you have for sale. My purse is my own concern.
When you deal with me, the fullness of your purse is of concern to both of us. You're not half bad for a man. You're in my good books as long as you have the silver to stay there. Sweet Poison Lin's my name, and I trade in rarities of a magical nature. I guarantee I have something you need.
Okay, show me what you have to sell. Or better yet, where do you find your wares?
I have my sources. Some of them rich, some of them poor, and all of them very concerned with their privacy.
Do you ever worry about this much magic in one place?
Do you have any idea how much magic the arena itself holds? These walls have seen more than you or I can imagine, and there's enough security for me not to worry.
Are these goods stolen?
These fine wares may have changed hands a few times over history, but that's the nature of such things. If you're that worried, don't buy anything.
Why do you want your shop back here?
What the Imperial bureaucrats don't know won't hurt them. First they decree wind maps off limits, and now there's concern over magical artifacts.
Black market, okay. I'm sure you have to sell. Do you have any idea why these restrictions are in place?
Certain items have always been considered questionable, but enforcement has been more strict in the past few years. All I really know is that the restrictions have done wonders for my customers' tolerance for raised prices. What more could I ask for?
Alright, show me what you have to sell.
Magical enhancements and knowledge. Have a look at my wares and see for yourself.
So she has a couple of things here. She's very much about the intimidation style, but she also has the 1,000 cuts martial style. This is a pretty decent style to get, but you're going to need a lot more silver. She's looking at 13,200 silver, but only has 6. 1,000 cuts is aptly named. Though this style does not involve blades, a master of this style relies on numerous light strikes in quick succession, singular punishing blows or thunderous kicks. Most opponents reel under such a assault, unable to counter fast enough to find an opening for their own attacks. This is the style that Furious Ming was actually, if we had picked the auto level up, auto allocate when we created our character, Furious Ming and I believe Radiant Zen start off with the 1,000 cuts style. Now, this doesn't mean that whatever style you don't pick that's the default style for your character ends up here. I believe the 1,000 cut style always ends up here, but I believe certain other characters in the game will sell you certain styles that if you didn't pick them as your default one, you can get it with them. So, to keep her in mind. Okay, Lucky Joe, what do you want?
Before you face Khana, I'd like to present you with a mutually beneficial arrangement.
If it's you offering, I'm not interested. Or better yet, who else is benefiting from this arrangement?
Fortunately for you, my employer, Kailan the Serpent, has a vested interest in your success against Khana. This is Sweet Poison Lin, a master of the Toxican arts. Sweet Poison, standing before you is Silver Phoenix, the one we discussed.
Your introductions are unnecessary, Cho. I know this one personally. I trust you'll consider this discussion private and potentially very beneficial.
I don't like the tone this offer of yours is taking.
Not even if it offers you a chance at the Bronze Division Championship? Crimson Khana's rise to Bronze Division Champion has been good for business, but she has become troublesome of late. She believes that the Serpent runs the arena with little concern for honor, and she's right. The problem is that she cares.
What does this have to do with me?
The Serpent and I believe that Khana needs to be stopped. We want you to replace her as the Bronze Champion.
Alright, then let me fight. I was wondering when you would come to the point.
It should be a simple matter to slip a slow-acting but extremely deadly poison into Khana's drink before the match.
I'm waiting to hear the catch.
I would say you would be unable to lose this match unless you were to drop dead yourself. What could be easier? When Cho approached me regarding this matter, I felt that it might be in the best interests of the Greater Guild if I were involved.
If you accept, the Guild will cover half of Lin's usual fee. The remaining cost would be roughly half of your winnings from defeating Khana.
Like, I will not dishonor myself by resorting to poison.
If that is your choice, then so be it. You may deal with Khana on your own. I strongly advise you not to bring this up to anyone. I hope my point speaks for itself.
This Khana woman would appreciate knowing what you have learned.
Our business is concluded. It is time for you to leave.
So yeah, we're going to leave it at that. Let's talk to Khana real quick, because of course I'm going to do it. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like, I have beaten tougher thugs than Cho, and I can handle Khana no problem. I know I can.
Ukir kawuir wo fonir ir karano sakupono.
I look forward to crossing paths with you. You and I both rose quickly through the ranks. The true test will be in which of us falls and how we handle it. I should warn you, Lucky Joe was trying to eliminate you.
Sayer uyufuis patuyir?
Have I become such a thorn in Serpent's side? How do you know this? Lucky Joe offered me the services of a poisoner.
Uksayer kun ni kakno aku kwawir fuisir aku fagita.
Did he? Is Lucky Joe so desperate to see his best assured, or does Kailan see me as a threat? Either way is a victory a source for me.
Uksayer caritas fonir sisayer ir furk tatasir ir karano sakupono.
The guild does not operate so overtly in the rest of the city. No wonder the organization condones his actions. But such musings are useless. Why have you told me this? I consider you a worthy opponent. I want to make sure our match is honest.
Uksiyer watuafu niyer froto usosawir uktatasir ni ryoki.
The feeling is mutual, though I think you deserve more than just thanks.
Wonowiri fuiro tarir noka sisayer na workur ktantir.
I have long promised that I would train anyone who defeats me. My skills with the sword aren't perfect, but there are things I can teach you that no other could.
Aka wo nawir sawir sansi noka uk napir. Narawir woifuir uk sunurk.
Should you immerse the victor of our fight, I will train you in some of my more advanced techniques. You have shown the purity of the spirit to wield a weapon with the required precision. That is a fine reward, thank you.
Wosayer pinir sokart ayawir.
A warrior knows that training is more valuable than silver. Alright, let's get to it.
Wosayer pinir sokart ayawir.
Thank you again for your warning. It will be good to know that our fight will be fair. So we get open palm karma for that.
I want to hear that you're ready. What?
Okay, tell me about my next fight.
Until the guild stepped in, I was ready to give you an attempt at the bronze division for your last match. Now it's time. Are you ready to face Crimson Khana, the finest sword this august arena has seen in 5 generations?
What was that even English? I thought that was even Chinese. Let's begin, man. I don't.
Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
The spiritual teachings of Lao Tzu served as the basis for which much of Jade Empire society springs. So yeah, you could have taken that, but it's honestly the worst deal possible. You only take. I feel like that option is only there if you fought Crimson Khana and are consistently losing to her. But the price to win the fight is not worth what you get. You get half of it's charged by the guild.
Silver Phoenix stands to take control of the Bronze Division from Crimson Khana.
The dual blade leader. Now I'm not gonna lie. What's that? Oh, I don't know what that was. So yeah, she's a dual blade wielder, and this is the style she'll teach you. Now the thing is that I don't see a point in doing it because the guild's going to take half your silver for winning, so you lose half the silver and you don't learn her style. It's dumb. It's so dumb. But you're going to tip the dark side, at least make it worth my time. So yeah, and like I said, at this point in the game, if you've been pouring your skills into the proper damage and speed allocations and reduction in focus and chi costs, fighting Crimson Khana should be the easiest thing out there. There's no point in doing it. I'm not even kidding.
Khana's winning streak has been broken at last. I don't know if you've heard, but Khana has proclaimed that the first fighter who extriciates her from her championship will learn the secrets of her technique.
Wo sajer pinir so kart ayawie.
Come talk to me when you have a moment. The crowd loved that fight. I think it was worth some extra silver, don't you?
Come now. The arena works on a strictly regenerated payment system for the fights. There's no way I can give you extra.
You're too savvy a businessman to not reward your star performers.
I'm sorry, but there's no room for bonuses, extra payments, or gratitudes of any kind. You'll be fine with the usual winnings. Now that that's settled, what else can I do for you?
No, okay, so, that's all I need for you to. Wait.
When you walk the streets and hear your name among the crowds, be sure that your ego does not swell like the body of 11 gaping maw, god of inopportune gluttony.
Let's talk to Crimson Khana.
Wo sajer noka ukraproni apawafa sonsijer tuirwo.
I have been thinking since our match. I came to this place seeking honor, but I feel that my many victories have all been hollow. I think, yes, it is time for me to leave again and seek other challenges. What will you do now? I think I shall return to the prosperous East to continue my studies, but first, I am sworn to teach the secrets of my style to any who can test me. Let me instruct you. Since you told me the serpent's plan, I will teach you a more advanced technique. The key is balance in the form. Your motion must be swift but precise. Well done. You learn very quickly. One thing bothers me about your moves, though. Throughout the fight, I felt as if there was some opening in your defense. Why wouldn't you exploit that opening? What I sensed was some opening in your guard. I cannot name it and could not find it, leading me to believe that it was a brilliant gambit. Your method traps your opponent into hunting for a weakness they'll never find. You should speak with your master about this. For now, you are deadly enough. Others have mentioned this. Should I be concerned? Consider it a perfectly laid trap, not a weakness. Your master was truly skilled to mold such a trap into your very being. It is odd he never mentioned it to you. Sometimes the best masters dare not trust their students with the deepest mysteries. Certain lessons can only be learned if one discovers them for oneself. I hope you fare well. I turn my eyes to the east, where new challenges await me by the ocean. And just like that, we learned Crimson Tears. Now, she says she taught you a more advanced technique, but I don't think it actually changes anything. We'll show it off in the next fight we get to, but yeah, I do not believe that this particular skill changes the fighting style. I'll look it up between parts and let you know, but for right now, that's going to be it for this part. And I just want to point out, the situation resolves itself either way. So Crimson Khana is no longer a problem to the guild. So you didn't have to poison her. You got the most amount of money out the fight. You learned a more advanced technique from her, and she left. Literally taking the closed fist option in this is only there just to get you negative karma points. And by this point in the game, if you've been doing closed fist options regardless, you should already be close to maxing out your closed fist karma. Ignore this, get a little bit of open palm karma, and then max out in like the next 2 side missions you do. There's literally no point to doing this. You lose out in the worst way possible. It's one of the things where it's like, there are things about Jade that I love, but there are things that's like, if they bothered to think about a couple more things, they could have been really efficient at using some other ideas put in place. Or some other concepts they had already built into the game. But we'll get more into that next time. For now, we are way over time, and that's going to be it for today. I've been Anansi, and I'll catch you later.